everybody, this is Brian.
And I'm Logan, and this is Tops.
Sup?
And this is Bottoms.
Sup?
And this is Trouble. Sup? Avocados. It's Christmas. And don't forget, ho ho ho, Phantoms, Ghosts of Christmas Past. Wow. And we're Crush Cards. Hi, team. Happy Monday, my energetic enforcers. By golly, look, it's PK. We're back with another PK deck, but this time it's different.
I know we just put PK up literally like 2 to 3 weeks ago. However, we just got Phoenix Enforcer, and one could argue that this is probably the best deck for Phoenix Enforcer. Last format before Burst of Destiny, Phantom Knight was arguably a tier 2 to tier 1.5 deck. However, I do think that the Phoenix Enforcer package just gives Phantom Knights that little creep up into the tier 1 potential.
It does seem like with every format and every other set that PK gets to utilize every sick boss monster that comes out. It can play Zeus, it can play Utopic Draco Future, it can play Dragoon, it can play everything, it can play Phoenix Enforcer. This deck is literally so versatile in the sense that it can play every boss monster all the time.
And good news is, at the start of next year, it can also play the Brave Token engine, meaning that it just gets even stronger. So this deck is literally going nowhere.
I think that's why PK is so popular. It's able to choose so many different routes of how it can be played. You don't obviously have to play all the boss monsters, but you can pick the ones you want to do and go from there. And I think that's a really nice aspect of PK in general.
Phantom Knights is one of our favorite decks, so we did want to update it for y'all just to show you exactly how strong this is and give you guys an insight as to one of the decks that we are actually looking forward to moving into this upcoming format.
We've had a lot of requests to update PK with the Phoenix Enforcer package, so we're really excited to show you guys what's in store. Also, lastly, really quick, make sure you go enter the Burst of Destiny box giveaway from last week. We will be announcing the winner in probably our next video, so you still have time to go enter, so make sure you do. We'll put it up in the corner for you so you can just click it and go enter. Just kidding, I really lied. The last thing is we will be opening our Burst of Destiny case tonight on stream. Links will be in the description box down below. Come watch us, probably not pull a Starlight, but if we do, we will be screaming, so make sure you come join us.
So with all that out of the way, if you guys are not already a subscriber, feel free to go down, hit that subscribe button, throw this video a like,
And comment the most simple thing in the world. I just want you guys to say, we will pull a Starlight tonight. That's it. Just say, Crush Cards, you're pulling a Starlight, please. I'm begging you. I need good vibes. We also have an Instagram. It's at CrushCardsYGO. Feel free to come give us a follow if you want to interact with us a little bit more and see some behind-the-scenes stuff. We also have a super wholesome Discord community. It's absolutely bopping. I'm in there all the time, and it's a wonderful place to come make new Yu-Gi-Oh friends. And then last but not least, if you want to further support the channel, we have a Patreon. It is November, so you can still get in on all of the December benefits. The side deck for this PK deck will also be going up on Patreon, and you get to see all the exclusive videos and content on there just by being a member, and then all of your rewards are the following month when your first payment clears. So feel free to check it out, but if not, that's okay. We're just happy you're here. Let's dive into PK for the 10th time. Woohoo! Ghosts! Gotcha! Oh, you guys so scared. Boo! Oh, Christmas. Sorry, Halloween was last week. Oh.
Alright, so we are going to structure this profile just a little bit differently because, as Logan said, we have literally done PK about 10 times on the channel now. So we're going to do all of the packages together. First and foremost is triple copies of our Torn Scales.
Wow, no way.
This is the best Phantom Knight starter card. We're also on triple copies of Phantom Knights of Silent Boots, and then double copies of our Phantom Knights of Ancient Cloak, along with the one-of copy of our Ragged Gloves and our one-of copy of Stained Greaves.
Man, it's getting cold outside. Christmas is coming, kid. Don't forget your boots, your coat, your gloves, and your greaves if you're feeling chivalrous that day. Get it? Chivalrous, shiver, like it's called. Fun counter 1.
So for anyone who does not know, Torn Scales is the best starter card because it is a Foolish Burial for any PK card by discarding a card for cost. So we are still playing the level 3 dangers, triggers both of those, and when it is in the graveyard, if a Phantom Knight's card is banished, it will special summon itself from the graveyard and then just banish itself once it leaves the field, but it doesn't really actually ever do that because you're using it for Xyz material all the time. Silent Boots is one of the best extenders in the deck because not only is it searchable off of Cloak, but it is able to special summon itself from the hand plus banish itself from the graveyard to literally just search Fogblade or your extender if you really need it. And then Cloak literally banishes to search you and extended. Ragged Gloves is really good because it is a graveyard effect where you can banish it to Foolish Burial any card. And then Stained Greaves is actually a really pivotal card now in this new build of the deck because whenever a PK monster is special summoned, you can special summon itself from the hand, or if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to get any of your PK monsters that may be like bricks or things that you can't get out of your hand to special summon them. Moving on, we are still on probably one of the best Phantom Knight starter cards, which is triple copies of Tour Guide from the Underworld, world, and I'm still a huge fan of the Libic, Seer, and Graph package.
It seems like a lot of people are on the fence about Tour Guide.
Yeah, I will say a lot of people now have cut Tour Guide. I do think it's a really good starter card. Moving forward, I do think that hand traps, if you can't play like 15 of them, a lot of decks are just going to cut most of them in general and just start playing cards that are board breakers, right? Like droplets, triple tactics, stuff like that. Maybe you main deck like Nibiru or something of the sort, but I do think that in a deck like this, you have the flexibility to do a lot of things. So I'm still playing the Tour Guide package and obviously the BAs. I really like them. I still enjoy Libic so much because even though this deck is 42, it doesn't matter. You're always going to open Seer or Graph. So like Libic just helps you unbrick and get it out of your hand.
And frankly, if you don't like Tour Guide, here's a wild concept. You don't have to play it.
That's true. Yeah.
Wow, it's almost like you have free sovereign reign over your own deck building.
And then speaking of Tour Guide, probably the best extender in the deck with the Tour Guide to Chain Block is triple copies of Kombucha Night.
Keep your gut healthy.
Moving off for our extenders, we are on double copies of like our Psychic. So one copy of each our Psychic Tracker and our Psychic Wielder, and then one copy of our Dangerous Uchinoko and our Danger Jackalope.
Because they're level 3s.
Literally, as Logan said, level 3s. They're just extenders. They put themselves on the board, and they are free bodies.
And they're adorable.
And then this is going to be the weird part of the profile. We are playing some going second, some going first. We're just going to call them the blowout cards, right? The blowout cards, triple copies of Ash Blossom, Enjoy Spring. As I said, you don't have to play hand traps anymore. Not that you shouldn't play hand traps, but Fusion Destiny is a huge part of almost every deck. So Ash being a level 3, allowing you to normal summon it. If you have any other extender, you can still play for free. It's also just like the best card to hit Fusion Destiny with. It's also super duper generic. But once again, if you're not main decking like 15 hand traps, playing a bunch of these cards, or like if you're not playing Crossout, playing these ratios are just kind of more up to the player preference. And once again, blowout card section, we're playing the one copy of Artifact Scythe.
Oh boy.
Our one copy of Destiny Hero Dasher, and the one copy of Destiny Hero Celestial, which obviously means we are playing triple copies of Fusion Destiny. And then, as we said, blowout cards kind of help you go second. We are on triple copies of Forbidden Droplet in this deck.
If you cannot afford Forbidden Droplet, you are more than welcome to play Forbidden Chalice. That is a card that is much more popular and much more budget, so I know that's going to happen in the comment section. But if you guys also have some budget alternatives, feel free to help each other out in the comments.
I mean, yeah, like Dark Rule is a really good option as well. However, like droplets just being able to non-targeting break a whole board and send cards from your hand to the graveyard that can just function as extenders. Also, it's just like there's a reason that this card is so expensive, because it is definitely worth the price point. So let's touch real quick on the Fusion Destiny package. For anyone who does not know, this card is insane. It is unlike Red Eyes Fusion, where you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that lists a Destiny Hero monster as material, using monsters from your hand or deck as fusion material, but destroy it during the end phase of that next turn. Also, for the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters except for Dark Hero monsters. So what's cool about this, as opposed to Red Eyes Fusion, is Red Eyes Fusion locks you out of summoning for the turn. This locks you out of special summoning except for hero monsters after it's resolved, which is why we are playing 3 of it, because you can send it off of Verte, or if you just hard open it, you can bait a couple negates and then just activate this directly from your hand, still getting your DPE on board and having the engine rolling. And then obviously for our package over here of the Celestial and the Dasher, you can really play whatever you want, but I think these are probably the 2 most popular, which is why you've seen both of them spike extremely high in price. I think Dasher is like a $20, $25 card.
The reason these 2 cards are also so good is the turn after they are sent to the graveyard, you can use the effect of Celestial and basically use its Pot of Greed effect, and you can draw 2 cards, banishing both.
Yes, you have no cards in your hand to activate that, but the cool part about Dasher is if you draw a monster while Dasher is in your graveyard, you can reveal that monster to your opponent and then just special summon it. So gets cards out of your hand, also allows you a free body on board, and then you are playing like a lot of spells and traps, which is why we have chose to not really play a ton of hand traps, because if you set cards, you can activate the Celestial to draw 2 additional cards. So really good package, not like Dark Magician, not like Red Eyes, like these actually have effects after they're used.
And then Scythe is a fun card we're going to talk about with the extra deck.
Holy Batman. Just our like little power 1-up spells, we are playing the 1 copy of Called by the Grave and our 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army.
They're good cards, in case you weren't sure.
As we said, this deck is at 42, so if you really want to cut 2 cards and make it 40, I don't think Called By is like 1,000% necessary. I'm a huge fan of Libic, but y'all don't have to play Libic if you don't want. I just don't like bricking on the BAs. It helps me get the cards out of my hand. Also, just like really good to send off with droplets. It does what it does. It is what it is. Like, you play what you want to play.
It be what it be.
And then lastly, we are on triple copies of Phantom Knight's Fogblade. Keep in mind that this is Phantom Knight's Fogblade, not the Phantom Knight's Fogblade. So it is not searchable off of Cloak, but it is searchable off of Boots. As opposed to the Phantom Knights of Shade Brigadine. This is the Phantom Knights card.
Oh man, God, the naming section
So
of
wild.
just who did that? I just want to understand.
And then like 42 cards because you just have to play blowouts, and Imperial Order is an absolute blowout. If you see it,
Pretty
insane.
good. Pretty good. Wow, welcome to Tri Brigade. We're playing Ion. This is good. Anyway, let's move on to the extra deck. That's the main deck at 42. Do what you will with that. Let us know, and let's move on, shall we?
Obviously, we are playing Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer. I guess we'll take 10 seconds to read this card, as it's the first time we've ever done a profile with this card. So, monsters your opponent control lose 200 attack for each hero monster in your graveyard. So, if you have, Celestial and Dasher,
So
they
400.
lose 400. It's really cool. Kind of remember that effect, because I know it's like one of those like weird passive effects. It does actually come up, and that 400 damage sometimes makes a difference.
It does.
You can use each of the following effect of Destiny Hero Phoenix Enforcer once per turn. Quick effect, you can destroy both one card you control and one card on the field. Keep in mind, this card does not target. You do not have to declare a target. You activate this effect, you can wait for your opponent to activate anything. If they have no response, then you tell your opponent what you are going to pop.
Typically, it's going to destroy itself because the second effect reads, if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, so it can initiate itself, you can activate this effect. Special summon a Destiny Hero monster from your graveyard during the standby phase of your next turn. So if you do pop itself, you can activate this effect, special summon one Destiny Hero monster from your graveyard during the standby phase of the next turn. That is both players' standby phases, so when this does hit the graveyard after being destroyed by battle or card effect, you declare the effect, letting your opponent know that it will be summoning out during the standby phase. You do have to declare it as soon as it hits the graveyard because in effect you have to activate.
Yeah, this doesn't trigger in the standby phase. This triggers once it is destroyed. So once again, just keep that in mind now that we've talked about this card and how insanely powerful it is. It pops a card, it pops another card. It can honestly also really good in this deck because it can pop your own Fog Blades. So if you're like locked out of attacking your opponent's stuff, you can pop your own Fog Blades, pop a card your opponent controls, and then get the Fog Blade engraved as an extender, and this can just really put some really incredible damage on board.
It basically recurs itself every standby phase.
It's dumb.
It's absolutely whack. Wow. Doom King walked so Phoenix Enforcer could run.
And then for our links, we are on the one copy of our Link Spider, the one copy of our Verte Anaconda,
Shout out to the gold rare.
one copy of Artifact Dagda, our one copy of Cherubini, the one copy of Bardiche, and obviously we are playing the Unicorn, which means we're playing Appaloosa and Access Code. This is our little Link heavy package here. We are playing Link Spider because Nibiru is still one of those threat cards. You do get a token. If you can make any extender plus a token, this will allow you to make Verte, which still allows you to get Phoenix Enforcer. Artifact Dagda says, when the effect of another card on the field is activated, quick effect, you can set one artifact monster directly from your deck. This card just sets sights to your side of the field.
Friendly reminder, you do have a very big, good card in this deck that allows you to pop cards on the field. So just wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Stay tuned for the test hand.
And like OTK button, like really good starter card, really good extended card, really good clearing your board's card, and then just like, Appaloosa.
It's Appo.
Moving on to the Xyz package, we're on the one copy of Leviair the Sea Dragon, which means we are not playing the Draco Future package. I just don't think we have room for it in the extra deck. However, we are still on double copies of our Breaksword. Card's insane. Like, this card literally is just such an amazing card for the deck. Pops cards, brings back other monsters as level 4s, which allows you to get access to cards like Raider's Knight, which then allows you to get cards like Arc Rebellion Xyz Dragon to just like negate an entire board and then punch for game. And then obviously we're playing a bunch of Xyz monsters, so we gotta play a big old Sky Thunder.
Still really good and a great alternate win con. Wow.
I think that's why this deck is honestly extremely powerful and extremely popular, because this deck, as we said at the beginning of the deck profile, is that it just has access to everything. Like, it can play Access Code, it can play Phoenix Enforcer, it can play Zeus, it can play Hand Traps, it can play like all these blowout cards, and it is a very consistent, very concise engine.
It also just extends like nobody's business. Like, man, have you seen this deck play through Nibiru? I have. Anyway, let's show you guys a test hand and see how this deck functions now with the Phoenix Enforcer package. Hi team, welcome to the test hand part of the video. We like to do a randomized 5-card test hand for you guys so you can see the actual realistic ceiling of the deck instead of just a 2-card, 1-card, whatever card combo, because for those of you learning the deck, you want to see what you can do with an actual hand. So with that being said, Brian's going to shuffle on up and then I'm going to cut and we're going to show you guys what we can do.
All right, team.
Here we go. No whammies, all luck.
All right, we are going to start off by seeing a copy of Boots, our copy of Torn Scales. Wow, call by, that's really good. Jackalope, and a copy of Fog Blade. All right, this hand is actually like kind of insane. All right, so we're going to start here with our normal summon of our Torn Scales, and we are going to activate Torn Scales effect. We are going to send our Fog Blade from our hand to the graveyard.
And it really doesn't matter what your opponent says because you have Call by the Grave, so they can suck it.
This will send our copy of Cloak, and now we can activate our Danger Jackalope in our hand.
Yeehaw! All right, 1/6, the middle.
The 6, so it's Jackalope. All right, Jackalope will go. We'll activate Jackalope's effect. This will special summon our Tsuchinoko from our deck to our side of the field. And keep in mind here too, just as we kind of go throughout the combo too, like you have Fog Blade, which can banish to get you your Cloak. You have Cloak, which can get you another extender. You have your Boots to be an extender. So like you have tons of lines of play, even if your opponent does have interaction here. But just the basic standard bare bones combo, we are going to now link for 2 into our copy of, obviously, Cherubini. We'll activate the Cherubini's effect. This will send Graph, and then we'll activate Graph's effect. This will special summon our copy of Seer. Now we can just link for 3 into our copy of Rusty Bardiche, and then obviously the Seer here will trigger. We are going to special summon back the Cherubini. We'll summon it over on this side of the board. So just once again, going through the combo, we have not used our Cloak yet. We have not used our Torn Scales yet. We do have a Fog Blade engraved plus a Boots in hand. So if our opponent nibs us, we literally just get to keep playing. So let's just pretend they do not have nib. We're going to now activate the Rusty effect. Rusty is going to send our Ragged Gloves from the deck to the graveyard, and now we can banish our copy of Ragged Gloves. I'll send a Stained Greaves here. Typically, you would send like a Fog Blade because it will be an extender. However, we already sent a Fog Blade from our hand to our graveyard, so Stained Greaves is actually a really good extender now because it banishes to get the Boots out of our hand without activating the Boots. So obviously, we can grab our Cloak's effect to get a Boots to hand again, and then actually special summon a second copy of Boots if need be, just to play through more interaction. So now here at Resolution, because a PK card was banished, our Torn Scales is going to trigger and special summon itself, and then we will activate our copy of Fog Blade, banishing it. We're going to special summon here our copy of Ancient Cloak. Now we're going to special it in attack mode so we can activate its effect, switching it to defense and giving Rusty an additional attack boost, making it that much harder for our opponent to out on their turn. Now we're going to overlay 2 into our Leviair the Sea Dragon, and we can activate the effect, putting the Cloak back in the graveyard, special summoning back our copy of Ragged Gloves to our side of the field. I guess we're going to try to get a little bit of hand advantage here, so we're just going to banish the Cloak, add a copy of Boots from our deck to our hand. Once again, we have the Stained Greaves in our graveyard, ensuring we have that extender regardless of what happens here. So now we are going to just special summon our copy of Boots from our hand. Here we're going to link 2 into our copy of Artifact Dagda, and then we can link 2 one more time into Verte.
Oh, this looks like it where it's going to get really fun and interactive for everybody. Between Dagda and Verte, I want to vom.
So now we are going to activate the Verte, paying 2,000, and then we are going to chain the Dagda. Dagda is going to allow us to set Scythe from our deck to our side of the field, and then Verte will send Dasher and Celestial. This grabs you a beautiful copy of Phoenix Enforcer, and then we are going to peep our graveyard real fast, where we'll see that we have copy of Silent Boots we haven't banished yet. We'll banish the Boots, and we'll grab a Fog Blade. Once to note too that you can also just grab the copy of Brayden here if you do need an additional extender, but I think our board's pretty well set up. We have some insane follow-up in our graveyard, and we have a pretty unbeatable board here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to set our copy of Fog Blade. You can hold the call by if you want, but I'll set it too. It's literally just another interaction. We will have 1 card in hand, and we will pass turn to our opponent. So what's going to happen now is we're going to go to our opponent's turn, and then obviously in the standby phase, we are going to activate Phoenix Enforcer. It's going to pop itself, and then pop, wow, this Scythe. And then the Scythe is going to activate, special summoning itself, and then you can activate the Phoenix Enforcer, and you activate the Scythe. Your opponent is now locked out of the extra deck. This big bad boy will come back on the following standby phase. You have a copy of Fog Blade, and you also have a copy of Called By still. Let's just say that that's enough to stop them. Next turn, you draw an Ash. Literally, it doesn't even matter, because now what we're going to do, standby phase, Phoenix Enforcer is going to come back. We will go to our main phase. You can, if you want, you don't want to have the Ash, you can use the Dasher to special summon it, but like it's fine. It literally is whatever. These 2 right here will make you an access code. Well, obviously, you're going to activate access code's effect, targeting link 2 in your graveyard, and then you're just going to sit over here and normal summon your Ash because you do control. We will special summon a level 3. Oh my god, it's almost like you can make Break Sword, which will then trigger Rusty, popping a card. And now, wow, we have no cards in hand. I mean, like, it's obviously like your opponent is dead here. Access code is going to be at 4,300. You can now activate the Celestial's effect engrave, banishing it and the Dasher to draw 2 additional cards.
Yeah, because you really need to draw right now.
So your opponent really has to play through a Scythe Lock, a Fog Blade, and then as follow-up, this will come back giving you an additional pop. This is going to be a pop off of this. This can also be a pop off of itself, plus access code, plus like extension, and then like searching as well. Like, this deck is low-key just going to be insane moving forward.
I am so disgusted by everything happening on the board right now. It's literally ridiculous how easily this deck can just do whatever the hell it wants. And now that it can just pop its own Scythe and do a whole Scythe lock now on top of Fusion Destiny, on top of everything, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what I need to tell you guys anymore. This deck's insane. This is literally bonkers. I don't know how you cannot like this deck. I don't know how you can have anything you don't like about it. It's so freaking cool. It's so freaking fun. There's so many routes you can play in the hands. Like, it literally just doesn't matter. This deck is just absolutely gas. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We love this deck. We hope you love it as much as we do. Make sure you enter the Burst of Destiny giveaway from last week. It was in the beginning of the video. Make sure you catch us on stream tonight for our Burst of Destiny case opening. We'll see you there. And just have a good day. I don't know. If you're watching this morning, have a nice day. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. We love you. You matter. We'll see you guys in the next video. We're on stream tonight. Bye, team.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye.
This is terrifying.
It's pretty great.
That's so stupid.
It's going to be a great format.
Oh, it's so fun. Wow. All right, let's, you know what, let's do? This will make me feel better. Dance!